Hey, Facebook Live. Hope you are doing very well. Where are you watching me from? Leave me a comment. I am not broadcasting right now. Instead, I'm bringing you some very important questions from some of my speakers that are getting ready to give their first talk. So I have entitled this session, Keep Calm and Even as my feed acts really, really strange. I'm going to keep calm and carry on because Ricky has his first TED Talk this week, and Jen has her first talk this week. They're both giving TEDx talks. They're giving TEDx talks on opposite sides of the world. Ricky's giving his in Manila in the Philippines, and Jen is giving her talk right up the street in Reading, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour from me. I'm really excited for both of them. And I wanted to come up with three things that I want to encourage all of you to do when you're in that period. Your talk has been accepted and the day is coming nigh. And if you're not used to, even if you are, if you're an actor, if you're a performing artist, we know the only difference is we know what's coming. We know every single day it's going to be a little bit more intense than the day before. If we're a public speaker, we know every day it's going to get a little more intense, and we see that as a good thing. The thing that is really beautiful about short form idea centric talks like TED, I call them branded talks. So TEDx is the biggest of all of these. The beautiful thing about them is that you don't necessarily have to be a professional fancy speaker to be able to do this. It's democratized, and it is really something that a normal stage you have to be impressive and you have to do all that. In the branded talk stage, it's all about the idea. So it's a powerful thing, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory here. So I start getting a lot of questions from my friend Ricky, who's getting ready to give his talk, and it's about half a week away now. A few days ago, I started getting all of these questions, and they were all over the place. I mean, let's see here. I'm not going to read all of them, but he basically says, how do I dress? Which is a great question. I don't know that I'm the right person for that question. He says, how do we stay calm the week of the talk, which I'm answering now. How do you stand out as a TED speaker? And he references Seth Godin's book about the purple cow. I have to be the purple cow. How do I stand out? And so I started getting all of these questions, and I realized, hey, some questions are better questions than others. What do I wear? That's a good question. How to stand out? I don't know that that's really the right question. So I've kind of whittled down all of these into three things that we can do. As I'm getting a robocall right now. I just love robocalls. Anybody else get 5 or more robocalls a day, even though you block them by the 10,000s of numbers? Very, very interesting thing. So I'm getting all kinds of questions. How do you stand out? Well, you stand out by giving a great talk. You give a great talk that's about the idea and not so much about us. Unless, of course, actually like Ricky, his talk is about travel, and he's got a travel brand and a personal brand. So really the talk is about him, and he's already standing out because the talk is really about what he's been able to do with his family, in the process of visiting every nation on earth as a family. So he gets into a very nuanced kind of thing, where it's like the purpose of the talk is not about you, but sometimes we have to, present and talk about ourselves in order to make the talk ultimately about other people. So it gets very interesting right there. There are talks about how to stand out, and I don't know that you stand out in any other way, as I said, than giving a great talk that is appropriate. And just the number of some of these questions that I get, and I'm sure I'll get in the days to come, It's just kind of an evidence of, the talk's getting closer, and this is a natural thing for many of us. So I think there are three ways, get right to the point right here, three things that we can do. Three ways that we can really arm ourselves, not with empathy. That was my talk a year ago. But there are three things that we can do to really prepare without kind of losing our minds or losing all of the good preparation work. We want to kind of keep a slow, steady incline of enthusiasm, focus, discipline, and peak out there right when we give our talk. So I'm gonna give you three things that we can do. Number one is know yourself, and there are really a couple types of people out here, and you might be a mixture of both. But you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. Number one, in terms of the preparation that you're doing, you're preparing and you're working on your talk and you're kind of working on the performance a little bit. Are you bored? Is your mind bored? Do you almost want to escape the process that you're honing and the kind of the performance that you're building, even though it's about being present, but it's also about really, really knowing cold what you're going to say. So my question to you is, know yourself. Am I bored? Is there a part of me that's just kind of busting out, or a part of my mind that's kind of, they call it monkey mind, I think, in different philosophies, it's a monkey mind, and I just got to escape and just do anything else for the sake of doing anything else? If so, okay, you might be an Ernie instead of a Bert. You remember Ernie and Bert from Sesame Street? Ernie, if he had a TED Talk coming up, Ernie would just be like, "Oh, wow, rubber ducky, let's do," he'd be taking a bath with the rubber ducky, or he'd be, hiding Bert's bottle cap collection, or he'd be getting into mischief, or he'd be inventing all kinds of different things to talk about that he's not prepared for. You got to know yourself. Don't do that. All right. Now, on the other hand, if you're Bert, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you are really, really just reading and memorizing, and that's all you're doing. You need to then do what I'm about to suggest here in a moment. But know yourself. Which side are you? Am I acting more like Bert and kind of feeling trapped and kind of going into my shell, or am I becoming Ernie and just grabbing at all kinds of irrelevant details? You got to know yourself to grow yourself, and it's really, really, really important to be able to figure out which you are, because that's going to make a big it's going to make a big difference, because the pressure's on. It's good pressure, and you got to know and you got to grow. So what do you do if you're Bert? What if you do if you're Ernie? Doesn't matter. This is what we do. Okay. Now, by zoom out, okay, I'm talking about the preparation, and we just had a really good talk about this from Trevor Haldenby. Was giving me a few tips at TEDx Toronto, where he's a speaker coach, and he talked a little bit about how the speakers, they script out everything and they start really working on the script, but then they zoom out and they start talking about story again, and they start talking about outline again. So that's what I mean by structurally zooming out of what you're talking about, and instead of just getting all fixated on a boring script, okay, that's hopefully an interesting script, but it doesn't hurt to think back about the story, the big picture, as well as the outline and what you want people to walk away with, and then zoom back in and work on your script. I think for Ernie and Bert, when you're doing that, when you're zooming out, focusing on story, focusing on your outline, even as you're preparing meticulously, I think that keeps us on track without all of these, trying to be a purple cow and trying to just outdo it. We don't need to outdo it. You give a good talk and you've already outdone everybody else out there. You don't have to outdo Simon Sinek or something like that. That's really the wrong question to be asking. Okay, so you zoom out so that you can keep the big picture in mind, even as you hammer out the details. I hope that makes sense. Here is, I guess that was a number two, was to zoom out. So I already covered that, which is a good thing. Uh, yep. Here's the third thing that we can do. All right. I call this lean on me. All right. Not necessarily me, because even in the Get Accepted community, it's all about community. So we lean on one another. And frankly, it's not my role to have all the answers. No one person has all the answers. And so take stock of who's around you, your family, your friends, your tribe, your own community, and that's really one of the habits that we teach in the Get Accepted course, is to build your base, your audience, your friends, fans, and family, your tribe, your number one fans, and they can help you stay on course. And then within that, within the Get Accepted community, that's part of what we do. Once we get accepted, we're building to giving and delivering and executing on that talk. And we need to lean on each other so that we don't, get blown around by our own minds or enthusiasm or desire to kind of escape sometimes. And, frankly, to be candid with you, this is something that this is a luxury that, uh, that I did not have as I was prepping for my own talk. I didn't have my own base. I didn't have my own community that I brought in for that. I was just kind of isolated. And so are really 99% of people that are giving their talks. I mean, they maybe they have hired a coach, but a coach isn't necessarily a community. And it's good to have a coach, good to have somebody on the team that you're working with, and maybe an assigned coach in addition to that. But you need to have other people that are working on and towards the same thing in order to really be able to lean on the right people. I would suggest, very highly suggest, be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you ask the questions to, because you'll get all kinds of answers. And if the person hasn't actually given multiple talks, they may not be the right people to listen to. And not everybody that calls themselves a TED coach is even given a TED talk. It's kind of funny how that can work. So I just want to encourage you, if you've been accepted as well, or if that's something on your radar. I'm getting more and more people every day. I bump into a lot of them on LinkedIn, and they're like, I need to get accepted. I need to give this talk. I've got an idea to share with the world. And it's just so important to give these kinds of talks. And then it's so important to not have to do it all by ourselves. Now, I was still advantaged because I had served for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in a volunteer org, and learned a lot of what goes on behind the scenes. And I've sponsored events, and I've created my own business events. And so I knew a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. But still, as I prepared for my first talk, it was an intense thing. And I even with that, I have a pretty strong performance background. But even with that, it was a challenge. So I encourage you, find a community. Let's show you the three things that you can do right now. Know yourself. Or am I a Ernie? Or am I a Bert? Does my mind go all crazy and want to escape and come up with all kinds of new ideas? Or am I a Bert? Does my mind just kind of get more and more rigid and boring the more I prepare? Well, either way, either extreme is not a good thing. So that's why either way, we zoom out and we focus on the stories that you're telling, making, really immersing ourselves into the feelings and transferring those feelings, as well as zooming out to the outline. It's good to work on the script and internalize the script, and we always want to be doing that, but we got to also zoom out to the outline, as Trevor said earlier today in a different broadcast, because that just puts the perspective right there, and it helps us be working to the correct ends. And then finally, lean on the community. Have that community with you. Find a community, jump in on a community, so that you have a place, a safe place, and also not just a safe, non-judgmental place, but an informed place. An informed place where other people are working towards their first talk and there are other people who are alumni in there and can help you out. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was a little bit shorter. Let's see how short it was. I don't know, because when that robo guy called me, it messed up my timer. So we'll find out how long this was. I'm working to more targeted ones and getting my own inner Ernie in check as well. Hope this was helpful. Leave a comment or a question, and I always respond to these. Take care, everybody.